question, how to get carriers as a dispatcher, I'll show you. So I think I will show ins and outs of it. So we'll go into the load board. I will give you some ideas. I think tips and tricks. So this will be an amazing, I think, Q&A. Lately, I've been getting a lot of, I did a Q&A as far as the market update. What do you think about the transportation industry? Is it sinking? Is it like getting better? When it will get better? Those kind of things. We don't see any loads. We don't see any. Well, you guys see cheap loads. I totally get it, and it's really bad right now. But then everything boils down to how to use a load board. So today, be honest with you, I haven't prepared it. Just like I do see a lot of emails coming in, and I do see people have almost the same question as far as like, hey, we need to market update. Show us a load board. So you say that, hey, it will improve or will not improve. Can you show us just logging into your load board and show some, loads that are being posted if you see something different? When you see something different, I think this is very important, and I really want to talk about this today. I think this will be the theme of this live. This is live today. It's Thursday, and the May 4th. How you can help me is just by engaging and asking questions. I do see already, the questions coming in, and just jot down your questions. I'll show you some tips and tricks. And by the way, if you can see, guys, let me go here. And Samir, I'll come back to your question, and I'll do my best to help you with your question. Let me show you something really important. So there is a load. I had an email today from one of our students, and he said, "Hey Kamal, I'm in the flatbed market, and I don't see any loads being posted." Yes, I know maybe this about $7,000. It's almost $7,000. It's not okay, maybe, but then there are a lot of loads. I do see they're popping in, and disappearing because people, just calling these brokers and booking these loads. So if you also see load something like 55,000, this is don't be confused. Yes, some of you may say, "Hey, Kamal, this may be it's like maybe this is a $5,000, $500, or it's $550, or it's a $55." And you do see this, both in Florida, picking up in Florida and delivers in Florida. But then I want to say something like, maybe you guys not familiar, maybe there are some people that they don't know about these contracted rate, or this is a project-based load. So we'll talk about this, and I will show you how am I using the load board. And again, let me go back and see if we have questions. I'll do my best to help you, but then I really need your questions to continue this Q&A. Think about this is a free training, and you're asking, and then whatever you have questions, ask me and I'll deliver, right? As long as you ask me, I'll be here showing you and helping you, right? So the first question, let me go back and take this. Samir's question, how to get carriers as a dispatcher. Samir, I really wanted to participate, engage with me, ask questions, and then I'll be asking questions. This is very genetic and very common question when you say how to get carriers as a dispatcher, but I don't know where you're coming from. When I say where you're coming from is like, do you have the training? Do you know how to use a load board? Or you just watch a couple of videos on YouTube, you kind of, I would say, excited and you want to do this, but then you don't know how to get carriers. But I do have a good news for you. One of them is very simple to get carriers. But the bad news, I think, or it's a challenging little bit, how to get them, like onboarding them, and so that you convert meaning they agree to work with you, and they agree to get loads from you, and then they agree to pay you, right? That's very important. Other than that, there are a lot of people who will be watching this. YouTube algorithm will kick in within about 20 minutes, and you will see that a lot of people, popping in, and then they will just start watching this Q&A, and a lot of people will be here. They're carriers. They're also looking for the loads, and there are also a lot of people. They're in the trucking. They are dispatchers, but at the same time, they do have their own trucks as well. So, how to get carriers? This is awesome tool. So, I don't want to just close this, because as you can see, there's some loads I want to show you, and then dial into the theme, if you can remember. And I said the theme of this, we see different loads. I really remember this when I was sitting in in an office, and then we have a couple of dispatchers, and right next door, when I started doing this, there are a lot of dispatchers around me, but then also they're carriers, and then they're in-house dispatchers working for the carriers, and we see different loads. Back then, I didn't understand this, like, how this possible? Same exact load board, DAT power. I logged in, you logged in. So the origin we have is in Atlanta, Georgia, and it goes to, let's say, Houston, Texas, or California. Think about Los Angeles or whatever, or Phoenix, Arizona. And I'm like, okay, let's do this test. So there's 4 of us, and I was like, okay, I'll log in, right? So you're on a different network, I'm on a different network. Just log in. And just let's put the origin as Atlanta, Georgia, exact same radius, which is 150 mile radius. And then I said, okay, go to Houston, Texas, and do exactly the same thing. It's a 150 mile radius, and just click search. And all the parameters are, same. Like we're filtering, and it's like click search and see what happens. Let me see. Let me go here, and I'll be switching the screen back and forth. Let me go to this one. So you don't see, but I do see here. So, and then we just clicked search. I had, if I'm not mistaken, I had about like 350 matches. And then the guy next to me, like next door, he has about like 600 loads. And then the guy next to me, like on my left, let's say, he has about 210 loads. It was like, what's happening here? We are going from Atlanta, Georgia to Houston, Texas, 150 mile radius here, and 150 mile radius at the destination. Exact same load board. How am I seeing different than? So what I see right now, let me go back to this. So if you see this, like I'll give you all the parameters. For example, like let's say trucks, click this, the flatbed with the straps, and the van on slash the flatbed, whatever you want it to call, and then go to the origin as a Z2, Z1, and then see what happens, right? And then the availability, you will have, let's say, May 4th, May 5th, throughout the May 6th or May 7th, whatever. And I'll say, click on the partial load or the full load, and just click on both, and just click search and see what happens. 99.99% of the time, you won't see the loads that I see. And everything boils down to just one thing, the tool. It's now, maybe you heard this ChatGPT, the AI, artificial intelligence. Yes, this is what it is, right? When I had a training with the DAT, and I realized there's a machine working behind this load, and actually I'm training this load board, and I really wanted to see these loads. And now this load board, specifically for me, now it gotten smarter, and then now he knows, or it knows, that hey, this carrier or the freight dispatcher located in Atlanta, Georgia, or whatever, and then he will be he will be interested in loads, for example, popping in Houston, Texas, and Phoenix, Arizona, or whatever. Right? So now I've trained this load board. Some people would get confused, like, Mal, what do you mean by training? If you are a dispatcher, if you are a carrier, please type, and let's see, some comments if you have some inputs on this. If you are a freight dispatcher, just test this. Log into your DAT Power Load Board, or if you have a different subscription level, what you can do is just ask somebody, or if you know the friends of yours, like, hey, if you have a same subscription, just log in and put the exact same parameters, and watch what happens. you will see totally different loads, right? Or maybe they're like overlap between these searches, maybe 10, 15 loads. But other than that, a load board will do its magic, will be showing you different loads. Why? Because over time, what you do, you're training your load board, right? It's an amazing tool. And there is an AI behind this working, and then it just basically knows what you're looking for. In the past maybe year or last couple of months, what you have done, like the loads you booked, the calls you made, it all recorded here, and it's basically making your job easier. So when I show you, like, or when I'm showing you this, like, this is what I see. There's $6,000 loads, or $8,000 load, or $10,000 load, and you don't see. And that's one of the reasons. And I'm not saying that that's the only reason why you don't see it, but this is one of the biggest reasons why you don't see, because it's an AI machine working behind this. Right? And so don't say to Kamal, I did exactly the same parameters and then I just logged in, I clicked search. Nothing happened. And I get those emails all the time saying, Kamal, we don't see what you see. Yes, and I won't see what you see on your end. So that's very, very important. Let me come back. So I don't. Mookie's Life says hello, buddy. Let me see. Happy to be part. Absolutely. So this is a Q&A, guys. And again, so just if you have questions, please ask, and I'll do my best to help. Juliet says hello. Hello, Juliet. She, if I'm not mistaken, I remember by the last name, I recognize you. You're one of our students. Welcome back. And let's go to Hassan. Hassan Teslim says, hi, Jamal. By the way, my name is Kamal, but it's okay. How do I get port loads? Okay, and how do I get dedicated lanes load power only? So I'll do I'll go ahead and show you the power only. So if you know how to use a load board, then it will be easy for you. But then let me go there real quick, and I'll show you how to pull power only loads. So let's say if you have a search, you will go to the edit, and let's delete all of this and come back. I think I had power only. And again, if this really frustrates you and you were like, oh wow, this is huge. Let's see. Well, I might do, so it should be somewhere. Oh, there you go. See that this PO, it also shows the power only. What you do is basically you toggle this when you log into DAT Power. I'm assuming you're using DAT Power. So this is where you will just toggle only from any to only, and you have a lot of options to choose from. And by the way, for those of you who are in the hotshot sprint events, this is what you guys do, searching those specific market as well. So this is the PO. PO means power only, and then you put your destination or origin and destination, and then just pick dates that you're available. Don't touch anything like deadhead miles, whatever. Just on the full load, partial load, just put both and click search, and that will do the work. So hope that helps. As far as port loads, they are, well, everything boils down to, I think, the simplest way. Let me back up. I think simplest way to find port loads is just stop working with brokers that they are connected to the port, and then they're moving a lot of port loads. And again, how we can do, if we can come back over here, I think it should be something like container loads or something like that. So you pick this, we can just pick only that and start searching it, and there will be a lot of brokers, and then just pick and choose and start calling them saying, hey, I'm really interested in port loads. That's one way of doing it. And then I'll show you another way of doing it, which is the this box right here is the DAT Directory. So in the DAT Directory, you can search for shippers. For those of you who don't know this, and for those of you who know this, obviously leverage, use this tool. It's available to you. So for those of you who don't know, this tool is amazing. So you can search for carriers, and I think this will also helpful for Samir's question. How do I get carriers? Samir, you were the one who asked this question. Let me go back and also show Hassan's, I'll answer Hassan's question as well. So when you go to DAT Directory, Let me go to tools, right? So go to DAT Directory. And at the same time, I want to say something like, guys, this is my test subscription. And sometimes maybe you see something different, or it's not going to be like totally different, but it's a test account that I have with DAT. So as you can see on here, it says dispatch test account. Now, what will happen? So they do have this new DAT directory search, and I think they're still working on it. It's not, to me, it's my personal opinion. I don't think it's complete yet, but I'll just advise you to use try what is it? To try new directory. Where is there you go. Research new business partners. So when you click on that, if you know the company name, then obviously you can search by company name, but I'm assuming you don't know. So you're looking for, and this is for the Samir's question. So I'm answering your question, Samir. This is how you find carriers. And again, this is one way of doing it, but then obviously there good way of doing it. There's a better way of doing it. And it is like the way of finding carriers, but then there are a lot of ways of doing this. And obviously everything boils down to marketing. But here, what DAT Directory does is basically DAT says, listen, we as a company, we have a lot of carriers. So we have in our database hundreds of thousands of carriers. So we really want them to connect with you so that you guys move freight, right? So that's what it is. So you go here, company type. And for the brokers, I think Hassan's question was for, looking for a container or the port. I was talking about finding brokers, and this is how you find brokers, right? So, and again, if you say like Kamal, but I'm looking for specifically for port, there is a different way of doing it. That's the search. That's the key, keyword search that the Google and maybe it's social media channels. Maybe it's a paid advertising or something like that, or organic outreach. But then I'll show you what's available to you if you have DAT Load Board subscription. So Samir, so what you will do is go to carrier. So what you do is you're basically telling the DAT saying, hey, I'm looking for carriers. So let's say if I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, so we can do Texas, whatever you want, but then let me come back and then do Texas. Let's do Texas. We have this, and radius we will have, let me see, I think we should put, let me do this. What you can do also, Atlanta, let's go to city find. So you use this city, and I'll say like 200-mile radius from Atlanta. The company name, you don't have to search by company name. What you can do is just click search. Obviously, there will be some searches available, right? And then it says like select any company you want, but then if you can take a look, it's like 500 matches, right? So 500 matches, and these are the carriers available to you, right? So you can call them if you're really good at cold calling, and maybe you are really good at emailing or whatever, right? So I'm not going into details because we are at a different level, meaning as far as marketing goes, I don't want to overwhelm you. This is basically how you just get access to carrier database. The important, I think, the part of this is how long did it take to get access to carriers? Let me get here. And let me see if we have questions over here. So how long did it take me to get there, right? It's about like, if you have the DAT Load Board. So if you don't, I'll post the links for the DAT Power, so you can test for about 30 days. So link will be posted after I post this video. So guys, if you have the DAT Load Board subscription, most of you maybe already knew this or you know how to use this tool, but I'm trying to help for those people who are really like, Kamal, I don't know, I don't have a Load Board subscription. Maybe I do have a Load Board subscription, but I'm new into this game. Can you show me, right? This is what I'm doing. So Samir, just tell me, like, how long did it take me to get carriers? Remember when you asked this question, I have a DAT Power office. Okay, awesome. So it take me about like 2 minutes to get there. right? So how do I get carriers? But then when you say, how do I get carriers? I think there's more into this. Kamal, once I find these carriers, for example, if we can go back, let me go back and then let's say DAT directory, right? So if you see this DAT directory right now, let me go. Do you see DAT directory or not? Let me go here. I don't think you guys see the DAT directory. Do you guys see the DAT directory or not? Help me here. So let me stop sharing then if you guys don't. Can't use because I don't have any of my own DAT numbers. What? So, let me get to this. It's like can't use because I don't have my own DOT numbers. What a shame. Like what a shame. You mean like you don't have a DOT number, like no MC number, and you can't use it? Well, you as an independent freight dispatcher or a freight dispatcher, you can use load boards without having MC number or DOT number. So just letting you know that you can access to a load board. So now Samir says no, we can't. Samir, you should have told me this earlier. Let me come back. Let me do stop sharing. Okay, awesome. Let me go and pick that DAT directory. Present. Let's go to share DAT directory, share. So this is what I'm talking about, right? So this is, if we can go back, so this is basically when you click on a DAT directory, so you come back over here, it says research new business partners, and you select carriers. In Atlanta, Georgia, you just, let's say you click Atlanta, Georgia, then you could click search. You can put radius, obviously, like 200-mile radius, 50-mile radius, if you're building the lane. So this is what it is, right? So you have hundreds of carriers waiting to be contacted. So these people, majority of these people, they're struggling to find freight, right, or loads to keep their trucks moving. So they need help, right? And again, we're not going into details like talking about how to use a script, how to close a deal with them. I'm not going into this because we'll be spending like, I don't know, we'll be here for another 4 or 5 hours to do this like in-depth training. So think about if you can, let's say Brendan, or let me click on this and see, like, I'm not going to show you like all the information that I have here, but you have everything you need on a DAT directory. Right. So, and then this is for the training purpose only, to showing you like how you can access DAT load board and then obviously get from there accessing the carrier database. Now, let me take this question. Now, how we negotiate rate with brokers to accept expensive rate? Expensive rate meaning so that there is a load posted, let's say from Atlanta, Georgia, and goes to Houston, Texas, right? So this load, let's say this broker posted, let's call him Brian, and Brian posted this load for about, I don't know, 5,000. Let's say something like that. Let's say 5,000, and you're looking for 6,000, or maybe looking for 5,700 or 5,500, something like that. And I did a training a couple weeks back, and this is basically how it works. It's all about, yes, I would say it's a relationship that you need to build a relationship with the brokers, but I do understand that not everybody have this relationship with their brokers. Maybe some of you or most of you new into this game and are like, hey, I do see load, but then how am I going to negotiate? Negotiation, it's not about one party is winning and then the other party is losing. This is very important, right? This is where you guys have, let's say, when we talk to brokers and we're negotiating, in my mind, I think this is really awesome tip for you guys. It's not about like winning, right? So we need to live something for the brokers as well. And the broker, they understand that, hey, these people, they have expense, but then they might get aggressive if you're like, hey, I need to take all of it and I'm not leaving anything to you. Like, I want to grab that load. So you post it for 5,000, but I think this load you have from a shipper it's 7,000 and you're making about 2,000 off of this load. Guys, maybe there are some brokers that are doing this, but I have a lot of friends that they're in the brokerage business. It's not like that. They will trust me. But then, there's some brokers that are watching this. If they do this, well, I don't know what to say, right? But then majority of those people, even I do know people that they're losing money in some days to just move this load, the specific load from Atlanta to Houston. It happens, guys. Sometimes they pay out of pocket. Yes, I'm not saying that. Hey, I was a carrier back then, right? So I had 4 trucks. I used to be a carrier. I'm not on the broker side. I'm not into I'm more of a if you really asking this question like Kamal, which side you're on? I'm a carrier, right? Well, I was a carrier, but then guys, I know the struggle when you see this load and then you want to move and you have a lot of expenses every single month, and then this broker doesn't have any expense, meaning no trucks, no trailers, no insurance or something like that, no driver, like no overhead expenses, not a lot of it. But then they have this sales and marketing expenses, but I get it. But why should I pay him a lot of commission and I'm just basically working for a broker? No, I'm not going to do that. Coming back to this negotiation point, guys, keep this in mind. I really keep this in mind, is that it's not about me winning the game and then broker is losing. No, everything boils down to your numbers first, right? Ask this question because I don't know, like Abdul Bori, right? I don't know your situation. Meaning, are you a carrier? Are you an independent freight dispatcher? If you're a carrier, do you have your trucks and trailers? Have you paid them off? Or some of them it's paid, but some of them not. But then what about cost per mile, right? So how long? I mean, how much costing you to move your single truck per mile, right? If you know your cost per mile, if your cost per mile is $1.50, I don't recommend booking loads less than $2.50. Think about it. If your the cost per mile is $1, then I don't recommend booking loads less than $2, right? But then the next question will be like, okay, Kamal, I got it, but then how? But I don't know whatever the situation you're in. You dispatcher, you are a carrier, then paid off trucks, lease trucks. I don't know your situation. But then if you have a lower cost per mile, better. This is where you have this negotiation power. But then a lot of things go into this. I don't want to confuse you and overwhelm you with a lot of information just coming at you or throwing at you. But think about the cost per mile. If I have cost per mile, let me give you an example. If I have $1.50 cost per mile, this is what costing me to move my trucks. And I do see this broker posted load from Atlanta to Houston, Texas, and I just divided by the miles, and then now I see it's just like $1.60 or $1.70 per mile or $1.80 per mile. Will I book that load? No, of course not. So I'm not working for free, right? There are unexpected expenses as well popping up. If you are in a trucking, and I keep saying this because it's a brutally competitive, capital intensive business. If you're going into this, or you are in the trucking, this. We need money like yesterday to move our business, right? This is very important. Keep this in mind. So the negotiation tactic, there are 2 ways. One is just basically, I would say it's not an ethical way. Be honest with you, I can say that. It's not an ethical way of doing it. It's just when you call this broker and say, hey, broker, you posted this load for a 5,000, I want 6,000. So if you pay me 6,000, then I will just take this load and then deliver it. A broker might say 99% of the time, experienced dispatchers, please help me here. They will say, they might head up on you and just like, hey, go away or disappear. Why? Because there are a lot of people calling, and they know, and they put you in a competitive environment when there are hundreds of people fighting for a single load. You don't have a chance to say this like, hey, can you pay, 6,000 or 5,500 for this load? It's just like, think about, it's just more of a Um, more of a like, hey, it's like I'm demanding you. Like, just give me that load, right? No, it's not going to work that way. But then this is what I teach inside the training is the hook, reason, offer, right? There's you need to hook the broker, with your offer first, and then obviously offer saying that, hey, I can pick this load today or tomorrow. I have available trucks in this area, in that area, whatever. And then if I can pick this load safely and then deliver it tomorrow, after tomorrow safely, would you, right? I think that's the not I think, but then that's the question, the golden question, or the keyword is the would you do it for 6,000? Now you have like 50-50 chance. Like now broker hears something that they really or he or she really wanted to hear, right? When you say, would you do it if I do this for you? And a broker might say, like, not 6,000, buddy, but we can do 5,500. Boom, you got it, right? Now you can say something like 56 or something like that. And now you got him, right? Is like, hey, give me more. Now you have the ability to ask more, saying, hey, like, there's a tarping or there's an X, Y, and Z. Can you add like a couple, 100 more? Hey, I can pay for, tarping 150 or something like that. Will that help you? Yes. Boom, book load. That's it. Right? That's one of the negotiation tactics. So if that helps, please let me know. Let me go here, and then Samir says, "Yeah, thanks for asking, Kamal. Yeah, absolutely. I'm an independent dispatcher. Okay, good. Working for almost 3 months. Awesome. I booked some loads and wanted to get more carriers. Yes, Samir, there are a lot of ways to doing it, and if you again, if you have access to load boards, DAT Power is your the DAT Directory is your best friend for now. But then obviously you can email me, and then we'll show you some couple of ways to how you can get carriers. And by the way, guys, if you're interested in the training, I will leave the link as well for the training if you need to like go in depth and if you're looking for the mastery. So let me see. Hello from hello from Texas. Awesome. Let's go. Hi Kamal. Hi. Could I know as non-residents when I open my LLC in US, do I need to have a virtual address, which they provided to pay the monthly? Yes, registered agent. I mean, what DAT ask as a proof? Well, DAT, what I realized over the time, what DAT wants, basically, this load board is designed for US based market. And again, I'm not gonna sound like, I don't know, selfish or something like that, or just let's keep it simple. It's designed for the US based residents or US based carriers, US based the platform for the US. And over the years, obviously, with the help of the internet, there are a lot of people got access to the DAT. Some people used in a really good way. I'm not going into details. Some people use in a bad ways. I don't know. Then DAT realized that and started blocking account from countries I'm not going to mention. So now they kind of really cautious about giving the access to people, right? Because there are a lot of data inside this. So if you just use this properly, this is an awesome tool, right? Now DAT basically says, hey, you must be in the US. If you're a carrier, you must be in the US. Well, we do understand that there are some independent freight dispatchers outside the US, but then we want them, like when we had a conversation with them, and then this is what they told me. It's like, hey, if they're outside the US, currently I'm outside the US, right? Although I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, I'm outside the US, but I'm running my business from here, right? So then think about, it's just like they really want, hey, if this person running the business is outside the US, we want this business to be registered in the US. Basically, you can be outside the US, you can be US citizen or non-US citizen, right? but the business should be in the US. But then I highly recommend hiring a lawyer for this, or a small business attorney who can help you. And then there are a lot of companies out there. So you can email me. I can recommend some of the companies that I started working with. They're awesome company. They will help you set up, like, and they will be also your registered agent. And yes, there are some fees for this, obviously. And then you can create a business, in the US, and then that business is basically United States owns that business. Think about it that way. You are a basically operator, and you operate your business outside the US. For the United States, it's a big deal because, hey, now we own a business that runs and generates revenue and also pays taxes to US, right? So, and it's like it's a win-win situation for the US, and this is why they're allowing it. But then there's a proper way of doing it, right? I'm not going into details, basically showing you step by step how you can do it. But then this is what the DAT is looking for: US based company accessing the US based platform, which is DAT. That's the number one thing that the DAT is looking for. So if you're outside the US and if you don't know how to create a business using the registered agent, I'm not even recommending it doing it, right? Just stay away from it, and then you will, I don't know, spend some, money, and then eventually you will not get anything, and then you will not get anywhere with this. So US based company must. An operator can be outside the US. That's totally fine. There's a legal way of doing this, right? So hope that helps. So coming back to this virtual address won't work if you have a virtual address and then it will try to trick the DAT, for example, the platform. Sooner or later, they will just catch you, and then they block you, and then they will never, ever give you the access. Don't do that, right? So the virtual address, they're not looking for a virtual address. They're looking for, let's say, the registered agent can help you with the address, basically with the physical address, right? Everything comes to them, and then obviously they will be forwarding whatever the mails you have. Okay, let's see. If that helps, please let me know. I'll take more questions. Let me take this small home technology. If a carrier not sent to your commission, so what we can do. I think what you're trying to ask is basically, if I started working with a carrier, and then carrier is not willing to pay you, right? So if the carrier is not willing to pay you, if that's a question, then I will really want you to take from the first step. Everything boils down to, when you found a carrier and you're talking to a carrier, it's everything about agreement, right? So what you agree on, so you have your own terms, and then carrier has own terms, and then you agreed that there's a mutual agreement between you and a dispatcher. That's the dispatcher carrier agreement. You've done it, and then you're basically saying, listen, every single week, or every single day, or every single month, I will be doing this, I will be doing that. Now this carrier is prepared whatever you have, right? Everything boils down to one thing, is the agreement. Now, what will happen if we have this agreement, Kamal, and then I did some lows, and then carrier disappeared? Well, there's not much you can do at this point. Like, if they're gone, they're gone. You'll be emailing, and then you'll do all sorts of things, whatever you wanted to do. But then the thing is, like, if they're gone, it's gone. But then, to me, the question is, why they gone? Like, and again, this is the question that I would ask. I'm not saying that you need to ask. To me, it's like, if my carrier leaves me, like, what I have done, if I'm competitive in this business, and I know ins and outs of this, and I was booking good loads, first of all, why carrier should leave if you are doing the great job, and then he's happy and you happy? The carrier, 90% of the time, if the carrier leaves you, for example, or leaves me, that means I overpromised and I didn't deliver what I promised, right? And this is where carriers get frustrated, saying, well, you said this, X, Y, and Z, and I know people promising. I was on the call helping people, and I was like, they get very excited and was like, listen, what we can do is we'll be booking loads for $4 per mile or $3 per mile. And if you look at the spot market rates, it's trash, right? You can't even find $2 per mile. But then this person overpromises, saying just to get this carrier on board saying we can do 3.5 or something like that. That's crazy. And carrier like, oh wow, like I don't see those loads. If you know some tricks and tactics, well, I definitely will sign up with you. What will happen when they sign up and then they see that they can't deliver? They will leave, and they're not gonna pay you, right? And in some point, people may sue you because you lied to them, right? So be careful with this. So what you can, deliver, you promise to them, and you just over deliver. You can do that definitely. But then if they leave you and they're not paying you commission, there's some technical side of this when you set up this. There are like some steps in before you accepting the payment. The other than that, you can't do it. Like if the carrier leaves me, be honest with you, what I would do, I would just leave them. Like if you don't work with me, then obviously we're not a good fit. That's my mentality. That's my philosophy, and this is how I run business. So if you don't need me, don't want me, okay, we're not a good fit. What can I do? Right? That's it. So I learn. It's not that I lost the money. To me, it's like there's a quote says, I never lose. I either win, right, or I either learn. So I never lose. I just learned something that I didn't know, right? There are a lot of things that I didn't know, and I now know. I learned something very important. So hope that helps. Now let's go to, let's say, Daniel Perry has a really good question saying, you can use your, the very good point. You can use your EIN, employment identification number, for those who don't know. But then, Daniel, when you say you can use your EIN, what do you mean? Do you mean like accessing the load board, or do you mean like, hey, use EIN for what specifically? So if you can help us understand, that would be awesome. Let's go. Samir says, thank you so much, Kamal. Can you please arrange a new session for calling in about script for calling carriers, please? Yeah, we can do that. And again, in this channel, what I really trying to avoid is not overwhelming people. There are a lot of people after the session will say, Kamal, you talk about really awesome tips and tactics and this, but I got confused because it's too much. So, like as you said, you introduced yourself to me and you said, Kamal, I'm a dispatcher. I'm using, well, to you, it makes sense, but there are a lot of people a lot of people watching right now, and then there will be a lot of people that will be watching, hundreds of thousands of people over time will be watching this. And then there will be new people they don't know. And obviously they're about 70% of the time, they're new people coming into this world. They don't know anything about dispatching. So this is very, very important. So if I start doing cold calling and then scripting, and it will make sense to you, and you will love it, obviously, that's for sure. But then the other guy, you will just, or the girl will be watching this, or the person will be watching, like, what are you guys talking about? What's this cold calling? What is this scripting? What is this script about? Right? So very important. But I'll do something in the middle. We can do that. Okay, Samir says that would be a great help for all of us. Awesome. Okay, let's go to Samir. Samir, you have a lot of questions. That's good. And one more question. When do you think the market is going to be better? Well, obviously, this is a very, very common question. And I think I need to take, there's a merch saying that, when do you think the market is going to be better? But before it gets better, we'll just really deep dive into this mess. Then it will obviously eventually will get better. But then I'm not going to go into this recession thing, what's happening around the world. Yes, it's not the good situation to be in, but then we'll just go even more. And again, this is my personal opinion. We'll just go into the this mess, and then eventually get better, right? When? Trust me, I have no idea, right? I can guess, but I don't know. I don't have that data to say that, hey, if I say something, I need to kind of show you the data saying, based on this is what I see. But, all the decades of experience in the trucking industry, I do see, but this one is different. And again, why is different? I have no idea. I never, ever experienced something like this. But what I know, I think it's an intuition. It will get better. It will get much, much better. But then it will be more of a like technology focus. A lot of things will focus. This is what, and again, this is personal opinion. Just food your mind, right? It's just like just information. A lot of companies will be like more of a like they'll be using a lot of technology. That's what I'm trying to say. DAT will eventually change as well. It changed over time and it's still changing, adding more features, removing some features, right? And if you like long enough in this business or using DAT, how many or the other companies, how many features they had and just they disappeared and then adjusting themselves into the market. The AI thing, artificial intelligence, will just, I don't know, change the industry, right? There are a lot of things happening, but it will get better. Obviously, it will. It cannot stay in this. But at the same time, a lot of companies will go out of business. So if you like, again, how to stay, I think we need to ask these questions. This is where I come in, like marketing and sales. Well, those companies who are not ready for the change, and they don't have a marketing budget and they don't know marketing, for example, and they don't have a team of salespeople. A team of salespeople could be like 2 people or more. Think about it that way. Or a single person can help as well. But then team of salespeople will help you. So if you don't have, and again, this is relates to marketing, if you don't have this constant lead gen machine, that prospective carriers come into your world like day in, day out. If you don't have this, uh, you cannot survive. That's, to me, that's for sure. You cannot survive in this business, right? You like every single day there should be lead coming in. Lead basically mean, for those of you who don't know, is basically a potential carrier comes into your world. They sign up for something. You did something on online, videos, TikTok, or anything you can imagine. They saw they're interested, Facebook groups, anything, and they decided to work with you, and then they opted in for something. Now you have their information on your database. So if you're not doing that, start doing that. So if you don't have that system working for you, you cannot survive. Even if you are a carrier, if you don't get, let's say, brokers or broker generating leads, for example, as brokers, they're not coming into your world, you cannot survive in this business, right? You can't just rely on brokers. Why a lot of people specifically, and again, don't take me wrong, because I was a carrier, I'm a former carrier. Why a lot of us carriers, we complain about loads. We complain about loads, guys. We know that spot market rate exists, and then the contracted rate exists, right? Contracted rate, basically you work directly with a shipper. Carrier works directly with a shipper, not a dispatcher. It's illegal. Dispatcher works directly with a shipper and gets load and assigns to a carrier. That's illegal. Stay away, right? So I did a video, please watch. So think about, this carrier goes directly to a shipper and gets load. That's contracted rate, right? Now it pays maybe 30, 40, 50 cents more than spot market rate. The spot market rate, this is a DAT, this is a platform, this is all the loads are pushed into this load, and this is what you see. And majority of the carriers, including myself, when I was a carrier, when I started, I was using DAT, right? And meaning the load board. And I was relied on specifically for brokers. Think about, now I'm a mercy, like everything on the broker's hand. Like basically my business on their hands. If they have loads, I can move and I can make money. If they don't, I cannot. They can offer me cheap loads. I have no choice to pick. And this is very frustrating. And why is that? Why am I not going directly to a shipper and get contracted rate from them? It's because I don't know marketing. I don't know marketing. I don't know this system. I never, have done this. It's basically, to me, it's easier way to just get the DAT access, pay a couple of $100 per month, get access and see all the loads in my office, not leaving my office. Well, that's the advantage, but then you have a lot of disadvantages, right? So if you say, Kamal, I want to like go and work with directly with shippers, but I have never done it. I don't know how to do it. To me, it's a nightmare. Well, yeah, that's a disadvantage, but then how many advantages you have? So those carriers who work with directly with direct shippers, they will stay in this business. And majority of those carriers, if they adjust and then they're ready to change, right, and then they just bring some technology into their business, they will survive. But other than that, it's really, really hard to survive in this recession. It's crazy right now. I understand, but then it will get really, really better. But think about, if you're not ready right now, if you're just thinking, hey, let me wait and see what will happen within 6 months or within a year or next year or something like that, you guys losing a lot of it. Get the information now. Be ready for that good moment. When that comes, now you're ready to rock and roll, right? So let's go to Hassan. Let me take Hassan's question. Hassan says, thanks, Kamal. My next question is, the market is becoming really bad rate. Yeah, we were just talking about this. Yeah. Please, are there ways to even get 2.5 or 3 point loads, especially for power only, and do one get a dedicated? Okay. Now, I'm not going to talk about the dedicated loads, but if you have a power only, right now, there is a possible way of doing like $2.50 or something like that, or close to $3. So $3 is really hard. Then you need brokers that you've been working with them, and then they agree to kind of cut from their commissions, a little bit less, and then it will give you a little bit more, something like that. But then, and again, if you are a power only, if you're a driver, if you're a carrier, you have your MC, you have your DOT, you have your truck, but you don't have a trailer, work for a company, for example, Amazon or something like that. But then if you're like, no, I'm like staying away, but then I want to work with shippers directly, that's the way to doing it. Then you can look something like 2 point, I would say in between 2 point and 3 point or something like that, in between. But I can't promise you that you will be getting $3. It's hard for now, but then you can stay in business, you can make some money, and then just survive this, as you said, bad situation. And as soon as it gets better, then you win, right? So Samir says, sure thing. I'm going to email you. Thanks. Absolutely. Okay. So, man, Kamal, I'm looking to kickstart my dispatching service in June. Wow. If you like that specific, but I need to go more, I really want you to go more specific. June 10, June 15, June 1st, right? In June, it's still your mind is not ready. So pick that date, and if you're like, hey, I want to start, in June 1st or June 2nd or first week in June, and then there's a reason for that because I'm working, I have X, Y, and Z, then yes. Still setting up, okay? I'm looking to dispatch all types of carriers. No, that's big red flag. Not all types of carriers. Please, no. Pick one, okay? Pick one type, not the one. The carrier, but the types. Just pick one type, okay? What was the if a person trying to catch two rabbits catches none, right? Okay, but also box trucks. That's totally different market. Think about, we have drive-in market, we have temperature controlled market, which is reefer market. We have car hauling market. We have flatbed / step deck market, like low boys, like heavy duty equipment. Not even that, box truck, sprinter vans. This is totally different. It's not enough here, but then like I want this as well, right? So maybe there's a reason you want to do this, but then I thought thousands of people, doesn't work. Pick one, and then you can take from there. So is DAT recommended for a box truck? If you don't have other options, then I would highly recommend DAT, because there is a for the box truck specifically. And then there are a lot of brokers. And by the way, there are a lot of brokers that they are involved in like box truck business as well. So yes, I do recommend. But then if you don't have any options, then what are the other options? Just go directly to a shipper. If you can do that, then you can do that. So let's see. Let me take this. The most difficult part in this business is to get a carrier. Let me say this. I don't I don't agree with this, but at the same time, I'm not gonna say I'm disagreeing with you. Like, no, you're wrong. No, absolutely not. So maybe because we know the marketing, we have a so the systems and processes, up and running. Maybe it's not that easy. To me, it's just keeping them in the game is the most difficult part in this business. You can get thousands of carriers, you can leave them within a week, right? So that's the thing. You need to keep them in the game. That's the difficult part of it. Getting a carriers already they're in pain and they need doctors like you to treat their whatever they have or the solution for their problems. Carriers already like in the situation of like I need to solve this problem. And if you know how to solve this problem, that's it. You get them in the game within a couple of minutes, right? But then keeping them in the game, this is where it gets complicated. Now, so let's take this question real quick. What if a broker doesn't pay you? Tunnel, for those who don't know, stands for truck order not used. Okay. Then what could a dispatcher like me do with the broker? I'll give you a scenario. I had the situation when I was dispatching myself, my own trucks, and the broker agreed on paying, let's say, $200 for the tunnel. Let's say that way. And then he's like, well, I know this broker and I have the relationship with this broker. And he said, Kamal, whatever the reasons. And he said, like, I'm not going to pay it. Like, let's keep it simple. There was a conversation and he said, Kamal, I can't pay you. Maybe he thought that he will get that tunnel fee, the truck order not used, from a shipper or whatever he's doing. I don't know. And he's like, I can't pay you. What I did, I basically said, man, whatever it helps, but if you can't do anything, it's okay. Why I say that? Like, why I'm not pushing the broker? Well, what I said to him, and I said, listen, you ordered a truck and we went to Charlotte, North Carolina, and you didn't pay me anything. Like, now my truck in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I didn't get anything. But I know this guy helped me a lot. I got a lot of loads from this. I'm not going to lose this broker, the relationship that I built for about 2 years. Back then I was working, been working with him for about 2 years. I'm not going to lose this broker just for $200. I'll keep him in the game. But then later on, maybe he'll decide to pay something like that. And guess what? It happened. There was a load posted for, let's say, 6,000. But then let me take back. Wasn't posted, but then he emailed me saying, Kamal, there is a load from Greenville, South Carolina, goes to California. This how much, the shipper pays, but I'll give you $150 more or $200 or something like that. They will remember if you do good thing and then if you understand the situation. For a broker paying a tunnel, $100, $200, it's not a problem. But then there is this conversation, right? The communication is the key in this business, in relationship. Very, very important. So small home technology says appreciate. Okay, appreciate it. Awesome. Absolutely. As long as it helps, I'm okay with it. Now, let's take this. Hi, Kamal. Hi, I'm a dispatcher. Awesome. I have one driver. His MC is 3 months old, which is not enough experience for your driver to get loads from brokers. Maybe brokers saying, as you said. So brokers turn us down by saying MC is a new, can't help. Why? Well, one reason, and again, coming back when I started first truck, and then there's a driver, one of my best friends, and we're ready to rock and roll, and then like MC, brand new, and I start dispatching. I have load board subscription, everything, calling, no. Like, hey, I need this. No, you need to be at least 3 months or 5 months or meeting the MC number, or 6 months old, then we can assign. Well, I think it's just risk management or something like that. They don't want to risk like you're new, but then the thousands of dollars worth of cargo or the freight I can assign to you. Just go look for somebody else, something like that. To me, if that happens, it's one of the reasons that they don't want to just mess with you, because like you new and unexperienced, they want you to get experience and come back. Same like with the job placement, right? So we like off of a 4-year degree, or let's say 10 years or 13 years of like working as a let's say medical school 8 years, and then now you do your residency for about 2 to 3 years. Now you're looking for a job or something like that, right? Or a bachelor, or with the master's degree graduate. Now he's a psychologist and want to work as a psychologist and looking for a job, and then what we need an experience, right? That's basically it. So keep trying. It happened. I called a lot, but then eventually I got the load. So hope that helps. Now take this question. Hey Kamal, I'm sorry if okay again, ask the DAT access. I mean, the agent is providing two options. Okay, one is the agent agreed to use their address as a physical. The other option is a virtual. Again, virtual address is. Let me take this. Ask, okay, DAT access. I mean, the agent. What do you mean when you say agent? Agent is. Do you mean registered agent? Providing a two option. The agent agreed to use their. That's what it is. That's the physical address that you want to use, and then the other one, obviously, virtual address. If you want to use a virtual address, if I'm in the US, right? I'm a US resident and I want to use my address and I want to use a virtual address, then I can use that. It's about like $10, $15 per month, $20, something like that. But then the physical address, that's what you're looking for, and that's what the DAT is required. So now let's see. Plus, I started dispatching 18 days ago. Awesome. Congratulations. And got access, success. Dispatched one truck yesterday. Awesome. I had no experience, all by watching your channel. Awesome, man. You made my day. Awesome. So email me if you need any help. Like, I'll do my best. Well, you are a risk-taker, and awesome, man. Like, by watching YouTube videos, no training, nothing, and then you create your business and you dispatch a truck. Awesome. So now let me take this. I want to say a big thank you to you. You're welcome. Please keep making videos for people like us. I will. Well, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate the engagement, and then we'll be doing more of these Q&As. So if you guys have questions, please let me know, or you can email me. So I'll just post the email over here. Let me get this question off, and if you guys are interested in the training, I'll post the links below. Also, I really want you to encourage you to join. There is a Facebook group, closed Facebook group on Facebook. So we have about 14,000 members. There are a lot of carriers out there, dispatchers, carriers out there in my group. So there's 14,000 people. So please join. So you can type dispatch trucks. Their logo will pop up, and then you will see just answer a couple of questions, and you're ready. So if you're interested about the training, like mastering this, like load board, then you want to know like ins and outs of this business, a little more about the business, the marketing side of it, the sales side of it, please email me, and then I will email you the link that you can check it out, the training that I have. So, well, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next live training. Bye.